Yeah, Buddy Fanatics FC live from NYC. It is Yanks Talk Football on a Sunday, man. It is, and you know what's funny? I got 3 Yanks with me. It's the first time on Yanks Talk Football. Everybody in here from New York City, you get me? Like whole tri-state area, DMV area, the boroughs. We're all in here. And you know what's funny too? I got sore losers with me, big sore losers, but they still proper people and they come in correct and they show them mad love. So big up to everyone in here and whoever's in here. Like the video, please like the video, show some love, subscribe. I'm gonna introduce my United counterpart. You know what I'm saying? Big assistance to this channel, big goat to this channel, all that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all familiar with the man already. You seen the entrance he came in with. Feel me? So big man Steffi, Wagwan, what you saying, brother?
What's good, bro? What's good? Listen, we're sitting here on the winner's table for the first time in about 3 weeks. So I'm finally excited to do some shows.
I know. It's been
so it's good being on this side today.
I know, you've been on my side. Now we got you taking a break, but we got you as you get me. Let's add. I'm gonna add 2 of my really good friends and also 2 great people in knowledge of ball. Actually, 2 great ballers as well. I'm gonna start with 1 great baller right here. My boy AJ to the building. As you see, he representing New York Chelsea Blues. Blues is not the time. This is not the time to represent.
It's not the time. It's tough right now, man.
You know what I'm saying? And then another Chelsea reject, right here.
That's crazy.
Man,
bro, I had to go take a drive, man. I was in my feelings. I had to go take a drive. I pulled over.
Yeah, you know the Throg's neck?
I'm on the jacket.
Hey, make sure you jump off of that.
Make sure Punch is jumping with me. Punch is jumping with me.
But, matter of fact, since we're here and we got the Chelsea fans, right? And no bias aside, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Yo, your guess is as good as ours.
What the fuck is going on?
Let AJ go. Let AJ take this first, bro.
AJ, talk to me, brother. Why I'm
gonna set the table. Like your guess is as good as ours because we looking at Poch. Like what happened to preseason Poch? He came in with some crazy energy. He came in with confidence. He had the team playing a certain way, and even the first game of the season, Liverpool, we played very good. You know. Arguably, we should have won that game.
First game was solid.
After that game, it's been downhill, bro. And I'm not sure what's going on. And today, we're at the bottom today. You know, today solidifies it here. So I'm going to just say that for now. I'm going to let Shippy jump in there.
Nah, bro, I echo the same thing. Like, it's so crazy. During preseason, like, even guys that didn't have a great season last year, Mudryk, even Thiago Silva, we're excited about Levy Colwill, and then into the first game, you're thinking it's just gonna kick on. Mind you, it was a little bit awkward with his formation with the back 3, but we allowed it because it was Liverpool. But as the season's been going on, it's like he has less and less of an idea, especially with Nkunku out. But there's like a bigger picture to everything going on. It's like we can talk about Poch, we can talk about these players, we can talk about the board, the way we've recruited in the summer. And I'll be honest, I was a fan where I was like, I seen the Caicedos, I seen the Enzos, I seen the Malo Gusos. I got gas, bro. I got crazy gas.
Bro.
Players. But we have to be
honest. You want to talk about gas? The way I was getting abused in my DMs for these men pulling up. That's not, hold up. That's why, this is why I'm not, man. I don't feel for y'all. I really don't.
So many fans feel that same way.
Because the way y'all flexed on us for the spending, and I'm gonna raise my hand. I'm like, damn, they out here making moves. But then in my head, I'm like, y'all making moves with no structure. That's my personal problem with Chelsea. Where does the players fit in everything? You get what I'm saying? Y'all just fit. There's nobody fits the criteria. What's the identity? What's the system? What's really going on? I just buying 18-year-old wonder kids that I feel like he just follow Fabrizio Romano. And it's just like, yo, okay, he tweeting about him today. I'm gonna take him. Yo, first of all, I gotta add another We got the UK now. We got we across the pond.
Okay.
Feel me? We got the ends. So we got
international.
Right now we got the borough, and we got big man from London right here. Feel me? Yo, big up my boy Ozzy, bro. We got Ronaldinho.
Okay.
We got Ronaldinho on
Jaga Bonito just walked in.
We got Ronaldinho, brother.
I've had my hair tied for 14 hours. It had to come loose today, boys. I'm just
saying. Bro. This man is so yo, By the way, my boy's Egyptian too. This how Egypt look like. You got 3 shades up here.
Crazy.
You got the light, you got the medium shade, and then you got this.
That's the
beauty.
It's
the
a
beauty of
swan
Egypt.
thing. That's what it is. Exactly.
It's
A
a
swan
swan
thing.
thing.
100%.
My man's went to Egypt. That's why I took him.
Yeah,
out.
bro. Like, Osi, thanks for having me on, brother. I appreciate you. I do not appreciate the Al Ahly t-shirt in the background, but
Yeah, but it's
I'll
gold.
accept it for today. I'll accept it for today. But yeah.
Abutrika signature. So that's a legend. That's a legend. But yo, Ozzy, I was just battering these men about what Chelsea's really going
You
through.
should put it up here with us, and that top line is the winners. Put the Chelsea losers. Yeah, there we go.
Well, winners and losers of today's
What team you support?
Today's Yanks Talk Football.
We're all united here. We're all
Okay, everybody's
United.
united. Okay.
I mean, but no bias aside though.
Now we're here to talk football. Then not just
get a
United.
Real, Prem recap. Obviously, the better team is none of us is the better team. So really, you know what I'm saying? We both on the same boat. But
It's the middle.
But
It really is the middle.
But Staffy, tell me what you're thinking about what's going on with Chelsea.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm watching the highlights right now as we speak because obviously I was watching the North London derby. I mean, you was on my stream with me earlier, so I didn't really get to see what they were doing. But I mean, bro, it's just like same story, just different day. It's every week, same story, different game. And I swear their schedule was about to get hectic in a couple games, something like that. And bro, to pick up one, what was it? 1 win in 6 against Luton. Like, let's be fucking honest right here. Luton Town.
Yeah.
You know, you're losing. I get it today. There was a red card. Sometimes it's a tricky game going to Villa. Sorry, Villa came to Stamford Bridge. I get it. You could sit there and be like, you know what? It was a banana slip, blah, blah, blah. But, bro, you also lost to Forest. I swear, did you lose to Bournemouth or you tied with Bournemouth, something like that? It's just the results are not good enough. I swear they said something about them having 12 points from their last 18 games, something like that. 2 wins since March. Bro, those are some crazy stats that we're talking about. Like, it's just like every time I hear this, I'm like, bro, this has to be a joke. There's no way. Because as a United fan, listen, we've been in the dump. You know, like I'm looking at it, it's been bad. But to have 2 wins since March, I've never experienced it being that bad. Like, I can't talk about wins. Bro, I'm hearing that you have 1 more game left this month. Have a goal that you guys use for a goal of the month. You guys have 0 goals this month. They're about to pick a goal from training, Omar. They have no goals.
Training goal, man.
It's really 21. It's really I don't know. I don't know what, bro. You know what it is when it comes to Chelsea. Like I said, first of all, I want to big up DLM Designs right here. That's the thumbnail creator for everybody wondering. If y'all looking for a thumbnail creator, it's my boy right here.
My guy DLM. Big up,
and me and Steffi. So big up the boy for putting the hard work, making me look pretty on the ting because there's a lot of editing to do to make me look pretty. So I gotta for me, I gotta give him credit for that. But right here, big up Jake L for tuning in. Shout out Jake L. I want to talk something about in the culture mentality that has changed.
That's it right there, Jake.
But you see, I disagree. You know what it is? It's when Todd Bowley came in and he just bought youngsters. And I mentioned this earlier. I don't think Chelsea is a project that you start youngsters. The amount of pressure and the boots that they have to fill in from the characteristics that played on that team in the past is massive. It's a big job to fill. You're not just any European team. You are the European team. You get what I'm saying? Back in the day would be Tic Tac, United, and Chelsea, United and Chelsea. But till City started coming to see, when City started coming to see, then the Pools and Chelsea still stayed in the mix. So right now when Bowie came in, he's trying to play that long-term ball, but you're taking a massive risk on these youngsters, and it's not like these youngsters. It's not the time to bank on youngsters to support such team. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it comes to me. It's like you're not the Brightons. That's a Brighton job to get a Saicedo, start him at 18 years old, give him some burn. They got time to risk to play mid-table team. You get what I'm saying? But y'all trying to play for, you know what I'm saying, big time trophies and finishing at least top 4.
No, I hear that. And
big up Wavy Temmy, big go right here. Another panelist with us. Big up my boy.
Shout out Wavy. But just to jump on that point, I agree with you. But at the same time, it's not fully only youngsters. When you buy a bunch of youngsters, you have to kind of balance it out with 1, 2, 3 experienced type of players, because that's who the players are going to look to when, it's later into the game, or when, things got to change within the game, or just for clarity or for assurance, somebody who knows what to do and how to manage the game throughout the game, because it's not only the coach can't do anything when the game is playing besides move people around. In the actual play, it's about the players, and you have to have that experience and that know-how of how to go through the games.
100%.
And we don't have that, especially in the attacking areas, which you see we can't score, and it's because we literally cannot choose the right pass or the right timing of a run or the right spacing. Like, they literally don't know how to do that right now. And it's terrible right now.
And when AJ says that, it's perfect, because the experienced players that we have in our team are low-key the ones that are costing us. If you look at the game today, Staffy, you said you're watching the highlights. Who had the most chances in the game? Raheem Sterling, the player who's supposed to be dragging us through games like this, had at least, how many, AJ? I want to say at least 3 one-on-ones that he missed. So it's fair to say youngsters. Yeah, bro. It's fair to say youngsters aren't need like an experienced head to kind of pull them through the games. But it's Thiago Silva, and I love him. He made the mistake.
I felt like he was the most solid player today.
Bro, what's funny? Football is a funny game, bro. Mistakes that we make we're getting punished for it. Villa, we're terrible. Let's be honest. That whole left side, we destroyed them. We're not punishing other teams' mistakes, but Thiago Silva had a flawless game. Like, he looked great. The one mistake he made, we got punished. Robert Sanchez had at least 3-4 great saves. He kind of messed up with
he kept you guys in the game.
And yep.
And the goal went under his legs. But it's like, we're punish, but we're not punishing. And that's why people say, yeah, defense wins championships, bro. I'm saying now goals win championships, because we need goals. Goals win games, and games win championships.
And goals change games. That's really where it comes. If you don't score, for instance, I watched the United game yesterday. You guys didn't play extremely well, but Bruno scores a goal. And that's the difference. When you score, it forces the other team to have to do something. You have to change. You have to come out more and try to balance out that goal and get your own goal. But if we can't score, we're never going to win. We're only going to at least tie 0-0. And if the other team scores, we're going to lose.
Ozzy, what you saying? Because you in London, so you probably hear a lot more.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly, brother, I'm just listening to the man. I'm trying to hear everyone's point of views. For me, what Chelsea are in right now, it's a mixture of so many things. It's not just the manager or the fact that they bought young players or their scouting system or even their ownership. It's everything put together. And then add the fact that they've thought of, all right, let's buy a bunch of young players and think of the future. That's all well and good, no problem. But what about the present? Because you've got to go through the present to get to the future. And so all these players might come good in a few years' time, but I need players to come good right now because it helps with the development. And hence why a lot of people, when you're thinking about developing the team and upgrading whatever, you have to have 4 or 5 players that aren't necessarily shiny pieces. They're not world-class players, but they get the job done. They do the roles that need to be done for the team to be successful. And Chelsea just don't have that. So I don't think the manager's at fault for this. I think you can put the best manager in the world. You can put Pep Guardiola in this, and it will still be the same situation. They'll still be struggling. You can put Ancelotti. You can put anyone with an elite head in charge of this Chelsea side, but they're not going to succeed. And I think the fact that they're also going through a bunch of like confidence issues. Confidence is massive in football. And when you haven't won in ages, and I say ages because Luton Town doesn't, I don't take it as a win. I take it as half a win. When you haven't really won in ages, let's just be honest. If you haven't won in ages, you start doubting everything. And I think they haven't got an elite striker. They spent $1 billion, and I still can't believe you spent $1 billion on your squad and you haven't thought, all right, do you know what? I need to get a great striker that can score me goals. That should be the first investment that you should make. So yeah, man, it's a mixture of things. I think.
But Nico Jackson is supposed to be it, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. He don't look bad. He don't look bad.
You see, this is the thing. We wouldn't be mad because again, this is a project, right? This is when you come in with young players, we were never gonna win the title over City this year or even Arsenal. Arsenal is a much better team than us right now.
Big up Gash.
And then there's that 3rd to 7th those teams are, right now they're just more established than us. But we shouldn't be in 14th place. That's the problem. If we were in like 7th, 8th, 6th, it would be fine because we have something to build on, something to give confidence. We're like, okay, something is working, But when you see it like this, like Ozzy said, you have to have something to believe in and to trust in, and something for now. We thought too far into the future, and that's where the experienced players are supposed to come in. They're supposed to bridge that gap. So then in 1, 2, 3 seasons, the young players can now take over and, be those guys. So it's just we tried to do everything too fast. That's basically what Bowley and them tried.
But then again, just to add to your point, and you make a great point, yeah. Let's not also forget that they're basically missing 5 or 6 players that would walk into the starting lineup. So when Chelsea
that's not an excuse.
they didn't think they were going to lose
Not
Reece Nelson. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying because Stafford, we sit down and we talk about how important it is to have our players back at United. We need to have the same energy. Chelsea also don't have Nkunku. They don't have Madueke. They don't have Reece James, who's their first choice right back.
No, it's not the same as I agree with you. They have some injuries that they need back, some players that they need back, but it's not as bad because when you look at their back line, they have Thiago Silva, they have Levi Colwill that they keep insisting on playing him on left back when he's a left center back. So they're pushing him out of position. They have Chilwell available. Manu Gusto is still a good player. Yes, Reece James has been injured for about 2 years.
Cooked him.
Yeah, but listen, he's a good player, so they have a good back line. Yes, I get it. Badiashile is out. Fofana. I mean, this is his second injury, so it's not like he was never a pillar in that team, in my opinion, because he never got a chance to play a long season. He always gets injured. Yeah. So like, he is a good player, but it's not like he's been there and all of a sudden he was taken out. So you look at that, and then you look at their midfield. I'm sorry, they have Caicedo and they have Enzo in the midfield. Was that? What'd you say, Ozzy?
No, I just said I'm sorry, my internet is crashed, by the way. But I was just saying he's a big investment. He still cost 80 million, and he was going to walk in. He was going to be the future of their defense, right? The present and their future.
Yeah, but they still have good enough players to be beating these teams. That's what I'm saying. They don't have 5, 6, 7 first teamers are out like we did yesterday or whatever, and we're like, you know what, would be lucky if we get a win today. Nkunku, 100%. I agree that you need Nkunku in that team. That's the one that I look at. I'm like, you know what? They spent the big money on. He was already killing it in the Bundesliga. He was the high prospect coming up, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yeah, he's the one that goes into that midfield. Him, Enzo, and Caicedo are going to be dangerous together, in my opinion. But still, Caicedo, big money Caicedo is there. Big money Enzo is there. Their main striker, Jackson is there. Sterling is there. Modric is there. That is enough players to be putting most of these teams away. You look at the players that are coming back, you argue 2 or 3 max come in, but those 2 or 3 come in and let's say that they could be the difference of you being outside of the top 6 and inside the top 6. You're not even putting these small teams away, which is like, well, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you need James Nkunku and what's his name, Badiashile to beat Forest at home, to beat this team at home, to beat that team at home. It just doesn't make sense.
It's a mix, though. It's a mix, though. Staffy, I hear your point because I agree. If you look at the teams we played so far, we should be beating these teams even without these players. These are it's still a decent team.
The
now,
only player that would walk into Chelsea would be Ollie Watkins and maybe Moussa Diaby.
Exactly.
Anybody else? I'm not really.
But the thing is, it's a mix of the injuries and Pochettino's initial setup. For instance, I'm so happy actually that you have this graphic up because how many players are out of position in this graphic to you?
At least.
Now, you have to be a real Chelsea fan to understand this point. You have to be a Chelsea nerd, and that's why it's hard to bring these points up. But if you look at this graphic, Colwill is out of position. Conor Gallagher is out of position. Enzo Fernandez is out of position. When you have that type of setup, the flow of the game is going to be off. The flow is going to be off. Enzo should be where Gallagher is. Colwill should be in for Silva. And we should have a left back for, in the left back area. That's what left backs are for.
What did just to add on your point? What did Chelsea? What does this Chelsea side and the United side, both that are struggling right now, have in common? That if you look at both these lineups, and I get it, there are a lot of players that are not playing in their position. I agree with you 1,000,000%. the thing that those two teams have in common, and they're both struggling right now, supposed to be both massive clubs in the Premier League, is that the players that they have and the quality and the mentality of those players on the pitch are piss poor. They're shit. Let's just say it how it is. How many of Chelsea's squad right now? You're looking at the lineup. How many of those will get into the City lineup? How many of those will get to the Arsenal lineup?
I think Enzo gets into the City lineup. I think
really just Enzo, and if Reece James was there,
Reece James.
I don't even think Reece James gets into the City lineup, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's not getting over.
he has the
And
possibility.
y'all know I'm a big Reece James fan. I don't think Reece James gets into that lineup at all.
A fully fit and firing Reece James, fully fit.
I mean, I wouldn't say I
Fully
wouldn't.
fit, but when was the last time
Not ahead of
seen
Kyle
him?
Walker. Not ahead of
Not
Kyle
ahead.
Walker.
He's not. He's
No.
not far away. But those two, there's really no one else close to that City team.
Nobody.
So how
No.
about-
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I'm just.
I was
you
going
know
to
what?
say, so if that's the case,
I think the delay.
Somebody got
it's
a
my
delay.
delay. It's my delay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's mad funny. Now go ahead, Ozzy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ozzy.
It's me. I live on an island, man. Sorry, I'm trying to be low key, but the internet is 2 bars, boys. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You're fine, bro. You're fine.
Yeah, I was just saying. So if only 2 of those players get into a City side or into an Arsenal side or whatever, how is this side supposed to compete for a Premier League title or even come close to a Premier League title?
Also,
Or
we're not
compete
asking
with
for
those
them to
type of players?
compete. We're asking them to beat Forest and them at home. That's all we're asking. I think
No,
them
I'm
boy
with
Chelsea
you.
wasn't
I'm just
saying the
saying
same
in
thing.
general, because that's the end goal, though, Staff. That's the end goal for Chelsea
But
Football
Ozzy,
Club. When you
that's-
spend £1 billion, I
Stabby,
expect them to compete.
it's got to be, I would say 2-3 years from now, if you're talking Malo Gusto, he's 19. 2-3 years from now, he's going to be a good player. Levi Colwell, same thing. These guys, they will be able to compete.
I'm with you on that. But this is my thing. This is not the time. Shit like this could break confidence. What if Pochettino gets sacked? Season goes absolutely haywire, and then all of a sudden you're sitting on a bunch of players who were supposed to be the next gems, but now are mentally destroyed and fucking hate the club, and all they want to do is dick.
Omar,
He's right. He's
and
right
Poch
about
make
that.
it easy for themselves. Poch easily can just put players in the correct position and profile them correctly. And the players, when they have the chance, easy today. Sterling puts it away. It's 1-0, and we're having a whole different conversation. We get a little.
Nico Jackson too on the one-on-one.
What's that?
Nico Jackson had a crazy one-on-one.
Nico Jackson too.
Yeah,
So
that one that Modric played for him.
it's tiny margins. Like football it's a funny game. Tiny margin can decide a whole season. And then it gives Poch time to really do what he wants to do with the squad, where, all right, it takes the pressure off of you. Instead of putting Levi Cole left foot, put him in center back, make things better for yourself. You're like, he's making it harder for himself the same way. I'm seeing the same things Potter did in last season.
He's being scared, bro. Let's say it for what it is. If you look at that lineup, it looks like a scared, defensive, protect something type of lineup. But we don't keep clean sheets and we don't score goals.
Because big up footy YouTube on that one. He just mentioned.
That's what I was about to say. Like if you look at the beginning of the
yes,
exactly.
That's what I was saying.
This is crazy, bro. Hold on. Moment of my fault to do them to the. But yeah, let's get a moment of silence for the Chelsea fans. No, for real. Moment of silence for the Chelsea fans.
AJ, I don't know how you feel, but I feel our team, I have more confidence in us against the bigger sides. Like we played against Liverpool. Like we played really well. I have more confidence in bigger games than we do against these smaller, low block teams.
I hear that, and there's a good argument.
Yo, like Shippy, you don't see this? Like you trying to convince me that you gonna beat this? You gonna be? I don't even know if you beating this, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't even think October 28th you coming out alive. And we see those Spurs balling. Let's not talk about this. This is
gonna be tough, man.
It's gonna be tough.
We were talking about going on a 6-7 game win streak at the beginning of the season, and look at us. Literally,
you guys needed that win streak.
Look at us.
This is the games I dismissed was the games I was supposed to collect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because then we could have. Because most likely we weren't going to win these games.
Pochettino stacked by January.
Nah,
bro, it can easily happen. It can happen.
They cannot. I'm telling you, they cannot sack Pochettino.
It's not going to happen, but it can happen. There's grounds for it.
It looks so bad that you sacked. How many managers have we had? 4?
Too many, bro. It don't even make sense to count.
Just under Bowley, you cannot sack Graham Potter and then sack what's his name right after Pochettino.
He sacked Tuchel first too. Remember?
Sorry, Tuchel. Yeah, but he never wanted Tuchel, so I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
But Graham Potter was his guy. He gave up. He can't give up on Poch too.
Yeah.
Staff, let me ask you a question, yeah? Because I want to get a genuine question, Staff, because I still haven't been able to figure this out in my head, yeah? Graham Potter left Brighton in one of the best situations in their history, right? He built that team. He did everything around it. It's basically similar. This team right now is basically his team, the one that he left, plus, some added pieces. Was the situation at Chelsea, was it his fault, or was he a scapegoat? Because right now, Pochettino's got it. Because it feels like he's a scapegoat. It feels like he's a great manager, but someone had to take the fall for Chelsea being so shit last year, and Graham Potter had to take it. I don't think he's a bad manager. I think he created what Brighton are basically building on right now. If Graham Potter comes back into football, and whether he takes a team like Chelsea or just a level below, maybe like Aston Villa or whatever, and he takes over, I think he shows that he was never the issue. It's the ownership and the people around the club and the culture of the club are the issue.
There's no one issue with Chelsea. That's the thing. There's no one issue. You can't put it on one issue. There's about 4 or 5 issues with Chelsea, and it's been like that for years. Even when Tuchel was here, remember Tuchel came and he hid the cracks of Chelsea because he took over from Lampard. We were literally faltering, but we won the Champions League.
All started after Abramovich left.
It's after we got the sanctions. It's like we've been cursed by some type of just negativity, and we just can't win. So we've been stuck in the same place essentially for like 3 seasons now. It's
so
crazy.
Really, to conclude it personally, I think it's more on the transfer structures that they did, and I feel like that's what, because it's, bro, I can't say Bohi's wrong because the dude spent 1.5 billion. Like, so you can never be wrong.
Yes, you can be wrong. 100%.
You can spend money wrong though.
That's what. In a way, that's where I wanted to get at. I can't say he's wrong, but I also can't say he's right. But have these players would have came and started collecting wins, Bohi would have looked like a legend. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I feel like, and I thought personally Pochettino would have been the best man for the project, especially we've seen him do what he could do with youth. You get what I'm saying? He could handle youth. He could handle that. And it's not like you had the big egos. Your biggest ego is Thiago Silva and Raheem Sterling. You get what I'm saying? And then the talks of get rid of the dead wood. Y'all got rid of a whole 22 last season, a whole 22 lineup from last season. But I mean, with the injuries, I want to see after the Nkunku comes back and all these bad boys come back, maybe we could see a different Chelsea. But the next run of games, I don't see you guys surviving. That's personally me. Maybe I'm an idiot thing. You get me? But I'm just that's something.
Just come to the UK, bro. Just come here, man. I know you want to come here so bad. Just come, bro.
Yo, heads up to anyone. I rep Hackney. We rep Hackney. Yo, Shippy, what we saying? Shippy was with me, matter of fact. We was in Hackney and Shepherd's Bush. We were strolling around Hackney and Shepherd's Bush. So we know the vibes.
Let's go, man. Big up Bush, man. Big up Bush.
Yeah, big up London for sure. And big up New York City.
Next week. We'll be there next week. We'll still be watching them against Brighton on Wednesday. We'll still be there.
Oh, yeah, but that's EFL Cup. If y'all get knocked out of EFL Cup, cool, calm, collected. It ain't really that serious. The other things is serious. The other things is serious.
Well, we won a trophy, though. I know it's crazy saying that now, but we haven't won a trophy in a minute.
I can relate to the EFL Cup thing. I'm not going to lie. Is Rashford getting – we'll get – for the YouTube, we'll get into Man United a little later. Right now, honestly, I want to switch into the North London Derby. That's what I really want to get into. Because them Arsenal fans, bro, I've never wanted Spurs to win something so in my life like today. Because them Arsenal fans, you understand how Arteta has these men on cloud 50, not even cloud 9, cloud 50. Them men are hanging in heaven right now in Firdaus, bro. They think they're in Firdaus because of what's going on. And mind you, they sitting in second place. Like, what are we doing?
They're not in second place. They're no longer.
They're not even in second. I'm basing off last season, like
thinking last season.
I'm obviously at one point they was, but it's just like, yo, boy, get off your high horses. Y'all just got bodied at the Emirates. Y'all was celebrating the last 2-minute goals when we played us, when they played United. You know what I'm saying? They was out here raving that they came up with something. Forward scored 2 goals on us. Don't get too hyped. You get me? So I'm just trying to figure out. What's your thoughts? I'm gonna start with Staffy. What's your thoughts on the North London? Because me and you was doing the live TV But we got into different conversations after that, so we didn't get to talk about what you really think about that game.
Yes, those conversations
That
weren't the
conversation was
funnest.
hilarious.
Yeah, those they're a little bit crazy. Listen, I mean, like I went back to watch it a little bit because
Basiro.
when you do, what's that?
No, I'm shouting out Basiro. That's how I hope I pronounced his name right. Forgive me.
Basiro Dumbia.
Dumbia.
Dumbuya.
Big
Anyways,
him up.
yeah, I was watching the game.
In here, by the way, please like the show. Please like the show. Trying to get these guys.
Yeah, hit the like button. We should be at 20 likes right now. So
we're almost there. We're actually almost there. So we
need 6 more likes.
That's a massive jump if we got that today.
100%.
So please like the show, man. Go ahead, Staffy.
But yeah, listen, Postecoglou said that he's gonna go to the Emirates and he's gonna play his brand of football, and everyone start making fun of him. They're like he's committing suicide if he plays a high line, this and that. The man was flawless. I'm not gonna lie. You know, when I went back to obviously watch it again because obviously we were on the stream. When you get to watch with people, you don't really pay attention to details. And the guy, he did a good combination of two things where he sat back a little bit, but every time he had the ball, he had his football. So he mixed the occasion with the style that he wants to play, and that's a sign of a big manager where you can afford to drop the line about 10, 15 yards because you respect your opponent. But every time you get the ball, you want to play the ball that you usually do, which is possession-based football. And he did that a lot. It almost cost them a few times because they made a couple mistakes and Arsenal didn't capitalize on it. But at the end of the day, they went to the Emirates. They played their football, which is not something that a lot of people do. They were cautious with it. They played their regular football, and they left with a draw. Listen, I heard people saying it's going to be the easiest game of the season for Arsenal. They're going to kill them 4-0, 5-0, all that stuff. Even I predicted 4-2 to Arsenal. I thought, listen, Spurs are going to keep up. They're going to stay in the game. But towards the end, Arsenal are going to start showing quality. And then maybe you can argue that the injuries kind of like, start bugging them. But at the end of the day, Spurs did a great job. I mean, Bissouma went in, bust that midfield. What's his name? Madison showed that, listen, a lot of people were talking shit on his name, saying that Odegaard is better, others is better. Today, he proved that he's better. Saka was being a dickhead again and doing his celebration, doing the dart or whatever. And then he went.
He did the same thing with
yeah, he trolled him twice. And then I don't know if you heard what he said after the game. He was like, oh, he was being cheeky. We were talking about it during the international break. And there was like a little bit friendly shit talk there. And he was like, he stole my celebration, but he was like, he was probably still celebrating when I spun him on the first goal. So I
like that energy though. I like that type of stuff,
Yeah, so he talked his shit too. So I like
some
that.
Spice to the game, man.
Yeah, I like that. But listen, at the end of the day, the Spurs kind of like towards the end when they took out Madison and Son, you could tell that the manager knew, listen, it's better if I leave with a point than continue with this and arguably lose it, because the last thing you want is people to say, what a fight Spurs put together, but they lost 3-2 because they didn't like shut down shop towards the end, but they didn't do that. I mean, he didn't do that. He was like, you know what, we're going to shut up shop. We're going to take the point and we're going to leave. Because a point from a top 6 team, especially in the Emirates, in a North London derby, it's something that they didn't get for a while, So that to me, I think it was a perfectly executed game by Spurs. At the end of the day, they lost an own goal and a penalty. You know what I mean? You look at it and you're like, you know what? Football works its way sometimes. Today just wasn't a good day for them in terms of those two isolated situations. But overall, getting a point away from the Emirates after all the shit talk and all the stuff that they were saying about their players and their manager and that we don't fear Spurs, this and that. I think Spurs today confirmed to me that they're going to be a top 5 team. Like they're making Champions League next season, in my opinion. And, and it shows me that managers could come in, make a few tweaks, have decent players, and still play a style of football. You don't always have to park the bus the first year. You don't always have to do it. I'm going to give that main prop, by the way, to Bissouma, because I think Bissouma is one of the most underrated number 6s in the world. This guy is so good. I wanted him last year.
He just earned that, though. Let's be fair. He just earned that.
No, last year he did it because I'll tell you why. Last year,
Spurs.
But last year, he didn't play the same formation. He was balling out in Brighton. He went to that terrorist football that Conte was playing, that fossil football that he was playing, parking the bus, 5 behind the ball, this and that. They didn't even play with the 6, so he never got the ball out there. And once you got a manager that's progressive and wants to keep the ball, and he needs a number 6 that could pass the ball from the back and show his quality, he came in and did that. That guy was 20. He was sold for 20 million last season. So amazing signing. He deserves what he's getting right now and the love that he's getting right now. I wish he was on my team. We can't see it. Who's that?
Oh, at the AFCON.
Oh, that's you giving an interview?
Yves Bissouma. That's my guy right there. But I'll wait for my turn.
It showed the picture first of just Bissouma. I was like, why is he showing me this guy? But then I saw you.
It's me and Bissouma. And I had the honor of interviewing him. Yeah, but no, I just put it in. I thought it was just perfect for you because that was exactly what I was going to talk about. But I'll let you finish and then I'll tell you.
I'm pretty much done. Yeah.
No, he's pretty. But as much as let's talk about Bissouma being one of the biggest highlights on the team, and obviously somebody here thinks it's Kulusevski. I totally disagree on the Kulusevski talk because he's been horrid unless the past 2 games. But he hasn't been hit. He hasn't been hit, bro. It's Anthony part 2. But my thing is we gotta big up as much as we gotta big up Bissouma for finally balling like he was balling the Brighton days. We gotta big up Papa Malong-Sarr. Papa Malong-Sarr has been the improvement.
It's Papa Matasar, not Papa Malong.
It's not Papa. It's Papa what?
Malong is another one. There's a Malong-Sarr. That's the one that plays for Chelsea.
Oh,
yeah. Papa
Matasar. You get what I'm saying?
You mixed up SARS, but it's fine, man.
Yeah.
Let's say SAR.
SAR. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, my bad to the SARS. You get me? They understood.
It's all good. We can move on.
Papa, you know, it's funny. I kept on calling Papa Malong for a minute. It's just because I keep getting confused between both of them. They both Senegalese too, right?
Yeah. I think it's Saud is a Senegalese name anyway.
But he has improved OD, bro. He has showed another level of ball, and it's really against us where I seen it. I was like, damn, like we didn't see this Saud last season. But Ozzy, get into you. I just wanted to give my little.
No, you're right. You're 1,000,000% right. Those are the 2, man. Listen, if people know me and people know the shit that I've done previously, I've been an ambassador for African football for time. I've been to several CAF Champions Leagues, several CAF Championships, etc. And the amount of African players that get disrespected, just abysmal. But recently, I think African football has gone to another level. So to have 2 African midfielders hold the fort in the North London derby was really good. Staff mentioned it. Bissouma was unreal. There wasn't an inch in that pitch that he didn't cover. He was unbelievable for both halves, actually. And same with Sarr. I think they both complement each other really, really well. But then again, it goes back to the manager. Like Tottenham are low key building one of the nicest young squads to possibly take over the Premier League for a while until they get all their players.
Great show.
Yeah. They got really, really good. And if you look at the starting lineup that played today, put aside him and Son, who's 31, and put aside Bissouma, who's 27, who's still young, by the way, 27 going into the prime of his career. The rest of the squad are 25 and younger. 25 and younger. If they can keep the squad together and develop them, Tottenham are going to be a problem, guys. They're going to be a problem. And the maddest thing is, if you put this Tottenham side and you keep Harry Kane and you add Maddison to play in the cam position, we could be talking about Tottenham taking over and challenging for the title because they have that good a side and that talented a side.
I don't know about that, Ozzy.
That's my opinion. I know it's a stretch, but it's my opinion. I think if you add Harry Kane goal scoring ability in that side,
you know
they need a goal scorer 100%. I agree with you.
Still there. We're bigging them up, but guess what? What happened in the last round of the Carabao Cup? They already knocked out. So
but that's different. They
it's
made
Carabao though, bro.
It's
not like United fans.
Yeah, but it's Tottenham. They don't win titles. We can't say it's Carabao for certain teams when you don't win trophies.
But we're talking about now. We're talking about the present and what they have right now. I get you want to talk about the Carabao Cup, but their start right now is the best start that they've had in 58 years. So no other Tottenham side has done this.
Is that really a stat?
Hold on. Pochettino almost won the title with
yeah. Let's see how they end. But I agree though.
I'm talking about the start. And by the way, Pochettino is different. Because Pochettino was coaching a good Tottenham side, but everyone in the league was flopping that year. Everyone was flopping. Hence why Leicester ended up doing the biggest feat in Premier League history, in league history, in football history, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think that's too much of a stretch to say this Tottenham side could do well. And if you've seen it, everyone said, oh, it's only 1 game. It's only 2 games. It's only 3 games. Now they've done something they haven't done in a while, which is go to Arsenal, dominate, because I felt like they dominated the game mostly, right? And they should have won, and come out actually thinking, you know what? I've got a really good side.
They had 60% possession apparently in the first half. I didn't even know that. 60%.
Yeah, they did well, bro. They did well. I think if they finish their chances, it's a different game.
So, what you say?
Great shouts. The only thing I'm scared for Spurs is if If they lose Madison, I think
Bro, I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, they don't have the depth.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I
don't have
don't
a
know
depth.
how nobody picked that man up all
Oh my
season. And
days.
since the summer, I swear to God, in the summer, I'm like, yo, how,
No one was even linked with it. That's the
Chelsea
crazy.
is screaming for a Madison type
bro?
of player.
United too, because how Bruno
My
moving,
goodness.
how Bruno moving. United too. That's a perfect opportunity. Oh, that's the reason why we probably didn't go get him, because the confidence in Bruno's high. Granted, I still think Bruno's a baller, but this is another thing. And it's just like nobody was linked, and it was just drop your 40 million, thank you, goodbye.
You're right.
It was the same thing they did. They went and got him,
Yeah.
and it was just like, boop, all right, thank you, see you later. It wasn't like they gave him a hard time on some Amrabat, on some Sancho for 2 years. On, you know what I'm saying? It was just here, see you later.
I
By the
think
way, the point about Kulusevski was mad. By the way, mad. I don't know about that one, about him being stinky. Whoever said, was it you, Omar?
Omar said that. Yeah,
That
I tried to
that
ignore
was
him.
wild. That was wild, by the way.
Yo, Shippy definitely would know the most.
What's that?
EJ probably too, when we go talk ball, when we actually play ball at the park. Bro, who bigs up Kulusevski the most?
Now you love Kulusevski, but
but the past few games, he is not him. He is as horrible as how United fans see how Anthony was horrible. He was just not history. No, bro. I'm telling you, and you can speak.
What makes you say he wasn't doing
what did he not do?
He was actually good. Last game he was good, but the beginning of the season, the first 4 or 5 games, he was on the sus radar as well. And we can't just
he was games like he. Remember when he first came in January, when he first
arrived? Weekend. That's what I'm saying.
Balling.
You see,
balling. That's the coolest. That's the coolest I fell in love with.
But Spurs was not doing well though.
Yeah, but the beginning of the season, they were actually Ange Ball was catching, like the United game. Was he even there for the United game? The United
literally, bro. He made the assist to Papa Malangsar.
Did he though?
He's the one that caught Shaw off guard or whatever it was, and then
because it's Luke Shaw. It's Luke Shaw. It's not like
you're going from Luke Kulusevski to Luke Shaw hate. I mean, focus on one guy at a time.
I was even having conversations with big up my boys Fuad and Toby, and they even said it. Kulusevski as much. They said he's horrible right now. And that's the beginning of the season. He wasn't it, because I was telling them I'm not convinced with him this season. I expected better from him this season. That's all I'm saying. Because I expected Harry Kane leaving out that front three. Now it's an opportunity for everyone to, you know what, take the realm. Take the realm.
What are you? So are you basing he's horrible right now on 6 games? So if we're basing it on the 6 games,
but Ozzy, hold that same energy for United players. If we're
I will. When we talk about United, I hold that same energy, But the guy has scored against Sheffield, right? He changed the game at Sheffield. He scored, so he was immense in that game. Yeah, but listen, they were still 1-0 down. He came up and props to him, all right? Second of all,
Richarlison as well.
He scored against Bournemouth. He is one of the main reasons why this front 3 or 4 that they have clicks. Every time you see him on the ball, and by the way, I feel insulted. I feel mad insulted that you compare him to Anthony.
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
Yo, remember that argument with Saeed, Trippy? Remember that argument with Saeed? Because I did say that when the Big Six was here. I told him Anthony's better than Kulusevski.
But you know what it is with Spurs though? It's straightforward. The manager has come in and he's put the players in their best position to succeed. That's what it's been, and it's working. And he's simplified the game for them. You know, when you play for Conte and those, there's extra instructions and you got to be here. And this guy just comes in, puts you in a position and says, do this and just keep doing that. And that works, you know, and that's what Chelsea's missing. But I want to go to Arsenal though. You know, I want to say some stuff about Arsenal because, I'm saying it from a Chelsea perspective, but I don't think Arsenal is as good as they were last year. You know, they don't have that aura about them. They don't have that just extra energy about them. You know, I don't think they're as good as they are last year, and I think there's more competition for them. You see, I think Liverpool's a better team than Arsenal right now. Spurs, I don't think they're better than them, but they can match their energy. Arsenal just doesn't have that edge that they had anymore, and I've noticed that before. I know they're still getting their W's and they draw in and stuff like that, but time will tell that I don't think they're where they were last year. They don't have that separation.
Do you guys remember last season when City played Spurs and then I think they lost? They went to the Tottenham Stadium. They lost 1-0.
They lose to them every year, yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? They lose to them every year, and that's when Pep kind of switches something. So they had lost that game, and they had switched back to type. Like, bro, what are we doing? We're trying this whole inverted fullback thing. Let's just go back to type. I think what Arteta did before the season started with getting Rice, Havertz, he tried to switch away to what worked for them so well last season, which was, like AJ said, playing quickly. Like that was, it was one touch, especially on that right hand side with Odegaard and Saka. I think they just need to go back to type. Like, it worked. Why are coaches doing that? I blame Pep for that. Why are coaches switching away from what works? Pep is just
overthinking it.
Else is following suit. Like, bro, just stick Saka on the right, have him go one-on-one against the fullback. You have Odegaard in the half space. You have Ben White, who has that relationship with Saka. This whole Havertz situation. Why? Thank you, but no thank you from an Arsenal perspective. Just go back to what you did last season. I think Eddie Nketiah, I don't see it for him. I think Jesus should still be their main number 9. Martinelli, I think, hasn't started as well as he did last season, but it's just simplify the game. It's not as hard as they think. I think Arteta is trying to do too much.
Yeah, I when I looked at Arsenal in this type of game against Tottenham, easily.
I deflected goal and a penalty, by the way, Ozzy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. And by the way, we need to start talking about refereeing and where the sport is going.
By the way, that penalty, Ozzy, oh my God, that penalty is the same one that we were given against Spurs. It's the same penalty that we was given. Same player.
There's no consistency. There isn't any consistency. And by
both
the way,
of them, he lunged in with his right arm. Both of them hit his right arm. One of them counted, one of them didn't. Because this one was closer to goal counts. I don't get it. What was the difference?
If that's a penalty, if that is a penalty, then keep that same energy for every single game this season with United games, right? United, I could 2 or 3 incidents where we should have had penalties this season that we haven't had, right? And people got excuses. Yeah, because these things matter in games, bro. You lose and win games on moments like this. So then the offside thing that happened with United as well, I will talk about it later. It happened with City, exactly. What was the difference between the City one and the United one? I know, Staff, you're going to tell me.
I think that one is different. Omar, can you share my screen? See in the bottom, I put my screen. Look at this.
It's a rule.
What is the difference, bro? Look at his arm here and look at his arm here.
Yeah, it's
Eriksen won in Champions League. Oh yeah, wee riders. That's what I call them. I call them wee riders. And it's always going to be like that. They ride the wee. It's
mad, bro. Honestly, it's actually mad. So
you know what? You know what, Steph? Even if this game, I wasn't mad that we didn't get this call because the game before, was it the game before? Or the Wolves game where they saved us on that Onana, whatever he was doing.
Yeah, but it's not 1-for-1, bro. Like, I get what
you're saying.
I'm
just saying, but it's like at that very moment, I was like, I'm gonna let it slide, cool, calm. Because whatever, we fumbled. They fumbled the first game, and it was
but 2 wrongs don't make it a right. That's why I was saying the consistency is the issue.
And then against Champions League with Eriksen, but they counted that one. And it's just like, yo, bro, what's going on?
But
the Champions League, they do have different rules. That's
they have different rules, exactly. It's not the same.
Which is dumb. I'm saying, forgive me.
Handball rules are different. That handball against United should never been a handball, and it wouldn't have been given in the Premier League, by the way, because his hand was out, but it was part of his body.
He was going down with his hand anyways. But that's the different competition. That's why I didn't complain. But this one here, this is the same competition, same VAR people that are supposed to be making decisions. The rule's the rule. What is the difference? Look at him. Both of them, he's lunging in, and both of them hit his arm. So what's the difference?
The only difference is I think it's close to the goal, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't make a difference. It's still in the box. You know what I mean? Like, there's no rule if you're in the 6-yard box. The handball is different than the rest of the box. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It just don't make sense.
We didn't hear what you said, Chippy.
So are we agreeing that? Are we saying it's a penalty or it's not a penalty? What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, it is a penalty. We're just complaining that we didn't get it a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we're agreed. We're agreed it's a penalty, but
it's definitely a pen. Both are definitely pens.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree.
What is VAR doing though? Like, if that's the case, then VAR was brought in so it could stop us having debates on shows and talking about whether things are penalties or not, or whether it was close to being a penalty or what. At the end of the day, now VAR is it's there. Like, it's just there for the sake of it. It just makes games longer. It just makes it boring. It takes away from the purity of the game. Everything is just it's messed up right now. The one main reason why VAR was introduced was to stop mistakes and to stop referees making mistakes in games, and they're still making mistakes. So there's no point. Finally, I just want to say that point about Arsenal real quick. Arsenal are missing one thing, and they're basically going to win a Premier League title. I'm convinced. It's just for me, they're just missing an all-and-out striker. Gabriel Jesus isn't going to cut it, and Nketiah ain't going to cut it. If you bring a world-class striker, an instinctive striker, to finish all the chances that they had like today, it's done. They have the wingers, they have the midfield, they have the defense, they have the fullbacks, they have the manager, they have the style of play. All is done. All is sorted. You bring a striker, Arsenal are sorted for the next 2-3 years, challenging for titles. Easy. For me
By
personally.
the way, Ozzy, this one here as well. How's this not a red card? I'll never understand.
What game is that again?
Same one. This is on the goalkeeper.
Oh, on the goalkeeper. Okay, I didn't.
I just
see
don't
that
want to
one.
play the clip because, like, I mean, it's not an official clip, but still, I don't want to risk it.
But
it's not even monetized, so it's okay. I mean, I can technically play it. Look at this.
The
Yeah, look at this.
Malagusta they gave her the same exact.
So
I
because
think
he didn't actually break his leg is not a penalty. So does he have to make contact with his leg, break his leg, and then get a red card? It's the same challenge. If he would have touched him, that's a red card. But because he didn't touch him, it's not a red card. The officiating just
Big up
makes
my
no
boy
sense.
Rhino. You heard? Big up my boy.
Big up Rhino, man. They just don't make sense. Look at DLM. Look what he's saying.
I mean, who doesn't?
Hey.
Appreciate
doesn't?
you, brother.
Who doesn't? That's why you see him interviewing Africans. Big up my boy.
All right, I like the way you said that. It just sounded wrong, but like you got what he means. He means he's like interviewing.
He's African, so
Bro, I did not. He's not interviewing Africans at the African Club.
No, I know what you mean.
you African,
When you
can say that.
It's just the world
Yeah.
we live in. They think
I'm just saying, if you don't know Ozzy, you remove all context. We're like, what does that even mean? Like, how
That's
come he
why he
only
interviewed
interviews
that.
Africans?
Yo, hey, Ozzy, can you please show them? Can you please show them the?
Yeah, he interviewed Bissouma, guys. That's
Can you
what
show them the clips again? Because now that we had this topic, and in case somebody else who comes and watches this later, they understand what I'm talking about.
I don't have it on.
I don't get cancel culture to be on me.
I
it's
got
like
you,
you're
I
not
got
monetized there. I learned that when you're not monetized there, you get canceled. So you can actually move reckless around here, even though that wasn't reckless.
Ozzy with the high brightness. Come in closer, my brother.
Your brightness is so there. It is.
So that there's Ozzy with the hospital jacket on, the first responders.
High vis, bro. It's a high vis, man.
Super.
Look at Jake's last comment. Yeah,
Which was-
Jake, don't worry. We're gonna run it back, bro. We're gonna run this shit back. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, facts. Big up Michael, big up Temmie, big up CK. I know that's Jake's favorite lineup, but big up my boys who were in here too today. You know what I'm saying?
He
So
basically wants all the Americans with
he
Ozzy.
wants all the American United fans. That's what he wants. I guess.
Then Aussies and add Ozzy on that.
Yeah,
But the thing is, I mean, Griggs is still in Greece fucking about. So when he's ready to come back and do
we got
something-
Shippy in the Jeep. As you see, we got Shippy in the Jeep. So big him up. You know what I'm saying? He spent a little money.
Yeah, of course. We got the Chelsea boys.
And we got
Chelsea
the
boys
agents.
in the house.
We were Chelsea Blues.
How did Chippy know that I was Nubian though? That caught me
I
off
took
guard.
him to Egypt, bro. He came with me and he spent 2 weeks in Egypt.
Oh, is it? Okay.
way.
Right.
I didn't know
So
that.
he would, of course, he would any newbie he would see who tried to take a picture with him. He felt home. But like,
100%, bro. Bro, if you ever go to Egypt, just let me know, man. I'll take you back to my family. You'll feel right at home, honestly.
Oh,
Right
so-
at home.
and then it was hilarious. When he first went to Cairo, he felt left out, and I was like, "Don't worry, the shades change as we move down south." And that's exactly what happened. As we moved down south, he just
The more
started.
you move down south, the darker you get.
He found his
Go
ancestors. He said, "I'm not Jamaican. I'm from Aswan." I said, "Chill out, brother."
Or as us Nubians say, the more north you get in Egypt, the more racist it gets.
Listen, I'm on the north coast. This is why I'm the whitest one between the all the shades. You go a little bit deeper, then it's Omar in the middle of Egypt, and then you go south, it's Ozzy. So we're representing all of Egypt right here.
Funny how it works out there, man. It's funny how it works out there. But yo, now that everybody, the North London Derby talk over, y'all want to recap the United, or y'all want to recap Pool? Yeah, City. I don't really want to talk about City. At the end of the day, shout out City. Pep really just violated this league. Shout out City. Any City fan in here, man? Y'all doing y'all thing. Have fun with it.
I think we should talk about Liverpool because they're second in the league. Yet another comeback. I mean, today they didn't go down.
I think they're going back to giving City that work.
Yeah, that robbery.
Well, the only
Man, Liverpool was only contesting the title. They weren't never the best team like that. They won one. I understand they won one. They probably should have won another one,
That's
but they
harsh.
didn't.
That is
Um,
harsh.
too much,
I mean, it's
nah, man.
facts, though.
Too
He's
much
not
props
lying,
to
though.
Two, they
Liverpool.
lost by a point,
What?
bro. It was
Two-
two that they
I
lost.
get it,
Yeah,
but
but
they
you're the
lost.
bridesmaid at the end of the day. If you're the
No,
I get it, but they
bridesmaid, you still
lost,
gotta
man.
And it
Stop.
was, it was,
Too much
and it
hype.
was,
Too
and
much
it's not
hype
like
for
they lost.
Liverpool, man.
It was last
Too much.
game. Thing,
They're the
Bob.
best losers I ever seen, bro.
Thank
I got it. I
Yeah,
hear
speak
you.
about
I
that.
hear
Speak
you,
about
man.
that.
Yeah.
I hear you. One
Speak about
title
that,
in
then.
30
Let's
years.
do-
I'm
let's speak about
tired
that.
of it, bro. I'm bringing that
Yeah, but
energy. Yes.
that period though, like listen, I'm a United fan. I would not love anything more than to come on here and shit on Liverpool, right? And what they did. But if we're being real, what they did and the levels that both those teams reached will never be reached again for a long time in the Premier League era. For me
I
personally,
hear you.
to
I'm
get
never
to
gonna
those
take that away.
exactly.
But they didn't win, though. You know,
And
Yeah, I
even
feel like they want too much credit. Yeah.
too much
But even
credit to lose, man.
even that team that you guys are talking about that got too much credit, for example, they won that Premier League by what 18 points, 20 points.
That's credit, and you deserve that. Take that credit. Yes.
So I'm not trying to give them love like that. Obviously, I'm a United fan. I'm not trying to do that. But we're here, and you know, Oski told me we're coming on a passive thing, on a neutral thing. So I'm coming on a neutral thing. If I'm being neutral, you can arguably say that Liverpool side with Klopp that had Van Dijk and that had Salah and Firmino and Mane and all of those amazing players, that team is one of the best the Premier League has ever seen. So for you guys to come out and say, yeah, man, they're just second, they're not even winners or whatever. Do you know, to hit even 90 points, there have been some league titles that have been won by United and other teams.
Chelsea
in
too.
the 70s, 80s.
Yes,
we're talking
I agree.
About elite.
I agree. But
That's
at the
it.
end of the day, you know, you got to win, you know. So they had to deal with the cards they were dealt with, and they didn't win it, you know. So I will give them their props. And I think this year as well, they're probably one of the better teams. And I thought that they would be, you know, a little lower than what they are right now. You know, I thought they would be more in the 4th, 5th, 6th type of fight. But they've proven, you know, and they have an elite manager. He's brought that mentality right back with the new players. So I'll give them their props off of that.
You know what's the most dangerous about that, though? About you talking about how they're proven no one expected this. The most dangerous team in the Premier League is when you have the right team, right manager, right goalkeeper, right philosophy, everything like that, and people don't expect you to reach certain levels. That's how you go under the radar. And that's the most dangerous thing about Liverpool right now, is that people are not even acknowledging they're just slowly just getting wins on the low key, climbing up the table, getting close enough to hit City at some stage this season. That to me is dangerous, and I don't want to see them succeed. But a word of advice for Liverpool and Liverpool fans: if you want to win the league this season, because you say you want to compete, maybe a good idea is not to keep conceding in the first 10-15 minutes and giving teams head start, because you're not going to keep winning games like this.
Yeah, it's always 1-0 and then 3-1.
Exactly. Not every team's going to be like that stuff.
They could score though, and that, you know, when you can score goals, you'll always be in a game. You'll always have a chance to win.
It's a shootout, yeah. It's
That's
always
the great
shootout.
thing about Liverpool.
Salah, bro.
And I'm jealous about that.
Really Salah.
When it comes to Chelsea.
That's a dangerous Salah fan. I realize
he's on a mission, bro. He's on a mission. I think he's on a mission. That boy's been on a mission, and he is one of the most disrespected players on that team or in the world in general. But he's on a mission. He literally. I watched the Europa League game against Leicester. Granted, it's last score, whatever. Bro, homie came on for 5 minutes. He came on for 5 minutes, and he was the best looking one on the pitch whoever played the whole game, bro.
Of course, I mean, it's a Europa League game.
No, but even all the Liverpool players. Forget the Europa League. It's all the Liverpool.
Yeah, but we know he's their best player. Then that should have never been a question.
He's a cat. He's literally doing the carry job.
But this is it for him. This is it. This is last season in England. I think it's Saudi next year, so he's trying to go out with a bang.
It could be Saudi in January. Big man thing. It could be
January. He's going out.
I think he wants a Ballon d'Or. That's what.
If Liverpool still competing,
you're not winning a Ballon d'Or playing in the Europa League, bro.
I think he stays. If Liverpool compete for the title, they stay. If they don't compete for the title by January, I think he's gone. There's no need for him to have it. Just come on, take the 150 or whatever. But for me, Salah is very, very simple. Like I think all us Egyptians, the United fans, it's a bit of a dilemma because we love Salah so much and what he's done to the country and what he does for the national team. Yeah, big up to him. But the toughest part is seeing him in a Liverpool shirt. That to me stings, bro.
They always say because it forces me to watch Liverpool.
I say this, OC, yeah, because I've had the pleasure of covering him on a regular basis when he was younger. His development and how he's progressed as a player since he was at Basel, Cologne to now, every single year he's gotten better, and he hasn't gotten better because he's just developing naturally. It's because he works on certain aspects of his game every single year, and it's different. I remember when it's always been with Salah. It's very weird when he first started with Liverpool. It was it's a one season wonder, and then second season, he only scores tap-ins. That's it. It's penalties and stuff like that. Then he goes on and wins another Golden Boot, and it's not tap-ins, it's bangers against Chelsea and skilled goals against City. And then it's no, he doesn't really assist as much. Double digits assists, double digit goals. And now it's like, look at Haaland. Haaland's come now. He's not going to be able to do what he does. He improves what he does, and he's a more well-rounded player. He's realised now, I can't go and win the Golden Boot because City are just too much of a juggernaut. They're going to feed Haaland for days. Haaland's going to finish easy 25 goals in a season. Easy, every single season. So last gone, do you know what? I don't want that record. I'll happily take the assist record. No problem. I'll go for Ozil and Thierry Henry's record. No worries. I'll make history in another way. So this guy, I have so much admiration for him because it doesn't matter what happens or what changes. He brings himself new goals and he adapts and he develops and he finds other ways to improve. So big up to Salah and big up to what he's doing for Liverpool because I don't think anyone in the Arab world in the future is going to match the legendary status that he's done in the European stage and the English Premier League stage for years to come. Years to come. It's not going to come close.
That's a fact.
At this point, I think the only argument you could throw at Salah, like you said, Ozzy, goals, assists, maybe accolades, but he's got that in England. Maybe aesthetically, he's not the most aesthetically pleasing player, but that's just his style, and that you give him credit for that. He's not aesthetically pleasing, and he's still bagging 20 and 20 for what the last. When did he get into 2017?
Yeah,
he puts up.
He hit 40 plus goals in 2017.
And he's a guaranteed bagsman. Like he's officially like, you're getting 20 and 15. So now, big up Mo, big up Salah.
Yeah, but what y'all think about this question right here? Question for every panelist, and we'll start. If both Poch and Ten Hag get sacked, predict what manager you think will replace each and what. First of all, Ten Hag not getting sacked.
Yeah. Speak for
There's no one out there available. This is why this question just doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Tell me who's out there that anyone's. Don't talk to me about De Zerbi.
Zerbi don't look like he's leaving the Brighton project anytime soon. So
he'd be crazy if he does, bro. De Zerbi should be the next replacement for Pep whenever he leaves, because his contract ends in the next couple of years, something like that. He should stay there for the next couple of years until he's the next manager for City.
If Ten Hag gets sacked, liquidate the club. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, because who else is gonna succeed?
It's just if that could have worked, then what else could work, bro? What else could work? If that could have worked, we spent, we backed, we did that. Then hopefully the Glazers get bought out, and it's a brand new structure.
If De Zerbi needs any more advice about which club to go to, he should receive a call from Potter and realize that Chelsea is not it's not the place to go. Like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different result. Chelsea aren't ready. De Zerbi is.
I don't think De Zerbi's ready either.
I think the only way to find out if Brighton being this good is because of Potter and what he's built, or because of what De Zerbi's done.
Now, De Zerbi definitely elevated them.
De Zerbi
they didn't score that many goals with him. They were good with Potter. Don't get me wrong, but with De Zerbi,
they're just a lot of goals amazing. As well, though, stuff. That's the problem.
They can't keep clean sheets. I agree with you, but they score a lot of goals.
I think United suffers from kind of the same problem like Chelsea. I think you guys, the recruitment that you guys do, I don't think you have the best recruiting. I think the personalities and the players that you go for don't necessarily fit what exactly you need. For instance, Mason Mount, Anthony. I don't think these players are productive wise. I don't think that they, bring what you guys need, especially at a big, massive club like Manchester United. So I think, a lot of people talk about the $1 billion that Chelsea spent, and that never includes the sales because it's really like around 500, but at the same time, all the clubs are going to spend the same amount of money within the next year or two, because that's how the transfer fees are now. You're averaging over 70, 80 million for average players. Like, these players are not even like fire like that, you know? Only Brighton and these smaller clubs are able to find these gems and turn them into something. No big club is really doing that, if you realize that. So I think a lot of teams are falling under this thing of buying these players, and they're not really working out. And I think that's why Chelsea went this route, but it didn't work out. It's not working out properly. And I think United kind of has a similar problem, except your players are just not super young players like Chelsea going for. They're more, like in the middle of their career.
Yeah, agreed. If United end up going the route of sacking Ten Hag, then we're all done. We said it from the beginning. Ten Hag needs 3 years minimum before I judge him. I don't care what happens. We can finish 18th. Honestly, we can finish 18th.
Relegation.
You're relegated 18.
I'm saying.
You said
17, bro.
At least we'll win something.
Yeah.
He can get relegated, and I still wouldn't want to sack him, because at the end of the day, managers aren't magicians, bro. You don't just wave a wand and create a team like that. Pep was there for the first season at Man City, building, finished outside the top 4. So I respect it. I understand people are going to come here and say, "Oh well, we want United to go back, and the progression isn't quick enough." But this guy is battling against ownership, against people underneath that do not understand ball whatsoever, do not understand anything about scouting or picking players, all of that stuff. He's fighting with players that are rebelling, that have bad attitudes. He's fighting with a fan base that unfortunately doesn't even understand anything about patience. So there's a lot of stuff, and I think there's a lot of tests that he dealt with, and he was able to succeed against Ronaldo. The Sancho situation right now, he's strong as a manager. The Anthony situation. So there's a lot of good signs in how he is and how strong mentally he is as a manager. We just need to get it to click on the pitch, and I'm happy to give him as long as possible to fix what the hell's going on with the club. Because what's the point of changing the manager? We've done it a million times. We've gotten the experienced manager.
Same.
We've gotten the winner. We've gotten the club legend. We've gotten everything. We've tried everything. So we've gotten the manager now. Back him and wait until he succeeds. That's it. That's the situation.
I see Poch and Ten Hag just staying in their roles, at least till the end of the season. I don't see it changing, to be honest.
I just think I think Ten Hag could make, like I said earlier with Poch, like he can make some things easier for himself. Like I see a lot of streams where people come at his team selection. I think the recruitment this season, it's been a little spotty. I like Amrabat. But people like Mason Mount, and I'm trying to understand what's his style of play, because I remember Ajax, they were knocking it. This team, I don't know if I see that same style of possession. Like, it's not really sticking. I think, what was it, Burnley, something like 30% possession? Like, it was definitely lower than Burnley's. Like, that's regardless of what you said, like Ozzy test that he faced, bro, it's Burnley, and you're not even holding possession. So
did you see who we started against Burnley?
But see, that's the thing though. You talk about injuries. Does that really affect who in midfield or in general?
In general, did you see who we started?
Still a top team. You're talking about Bruno, Casemiro, and who was your third midfielder? Was it
Hannibal and McTominay.
Hannibal. Everyone wanted to see Hannibal. He scored against Brighton a couple of weeks ago.
Not me.
Listen, I think Hannibal did well. But when we talk about top players, we're using Johnny Evans in 2023. Granted, he had a good game, but we used Evans.
Did he have a good game though? The game suited him.
But
but that's what I'm saying. He had a good game. I'm not saying by any means.
He signed him. He agreed to sign him.
No, but why did we sign him?
It's Ten Hag. Apparently, he gives a sign off for all these players that come into the club.
Well, he's going to go.
Listen, I agree with you.
He's going to go
get
the
right to sign him, by the way. He was right to sign him. He needed the backup.
He was supposed to get Kim Min-jae. He was supposed to get Kim Min-jae. Didn't get Kim Min-jae. And on the last day thing, they signed Evans because his wife works for the PR team.
Oh my God!
His wife works for the club. Do you know? Okay, let me tell you something. Do you know he was getting a sentiment pay while he was on the preseason tour with us? He wasn't under contract, but he was getting
he was on trial almost.
He was just getting a pay because he's a club not a club legend, but like he grew up in the club or whatever. He used to play for. No, I didn't even mean to
Legend.
say legend, but you know when you grew up in the academy or whatever, like he just goes back to that. So they just gave him sentiment. And then last day, why do you think he got the contract on the deadline day? It's because they knew they couldn't get anyone else. They're like, fuck it, let's just get Evans, better than nothing. Listen, I understand that Ten Hag said, fuck, it's better than actually having no option. You know, technically, yesterday, if we didn't have him, we would have had no center backs to play because Varane just came back. He couldn't start. But that's what I'm saying. This team yesterday, even Reguilon, I think Reguilon has been good since we signed him. Reguilon wasn't supposed to be here.
He's been your best player, I think, since he's come in.
I think he's been great. But when you think about it, he came in because we got 2 left backs that got injured. So he was a last minute signing for the next 6 months. He's not even supposed to be here post January. And even when he plays, he doesn't play the same style that Luke Shaw does. Regardless if you like him or Luke Shaw, that's not the argument. The argument is, what is the manager supposed to build on? And by the way, I'm very critical of Ten Hag, and Omar and Ozzy would tell you that. But even I looked at yesterday's game. I'm like, bro, we didn't have a style of play when we had more players fit. What do you think we were going to do? How are we going to have a style of play when you got Hannibal, McTominay, Evans on the pitch?
The only issue I have with that, when you say style of play, he's been in the job, well, not 18 months, but a year in now. Now it's his second season in. So that's the only.
But I'm talking about this season only, because he went from pragmatic football last season to trying to play progressive football this year, which is why we're conceding a lot of goals in the beginning, because he's trying to implement a new system. So I got a lot of people who are saying, listen, the system should have improved, but if you're being really realistic and you're adding context, for someone who watches United day in, day out like me, obviously I'm not saying Ozzy and Omar don't, speaking for myself right now. No, because I didn't want it to sound like it's a dig at you guys. But casuals wouldn't understand that I'm saying. That's what basically my point. I watch United day in, day out, and I could tell you that we were playing last season a different style than this season. And the main characters to the differences was De Gea and the midfield. So when I look at the goalkeeper difference that we had last year to this year, and I'm like, all right, we got a goalkeeper who can pass the ball, but did we change 10 other players, and are they all going on the ball? No, they're not. Why are they not? And then I look at the DM as an example. We're using Casemiro as a lone DM, and that's a role that he didn't even do in his years in Madrid. He was not the ball progressor. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, you know what? We need a new ball progressor. We got Emrabat. I'm like, all right, now we got Emrabat. Comes in injured, so he doesn't play for the first 3 games. Yesterday, I didn't even count. He came in a few minutes as a left back. So I'm like, you know what? Still didn't get that ball progressor. I'm looking at Eriksen. I'm like, you know what? Eriksen is dead. We need someone else with more legs. Did we sign anyone for him? No. All right. What are you going to do instead? He brought up the kid from the academy, Kobamino. I'm like, all right. He's trying to use him in the role that Eriksen does. Boom, gets injured in the preseason. I'm like, oh, shit. You know, we're not catching any luck anywhere. I'm like, fuck it. Let me see what he wants to do with Mount. He's trying to lead the press with Mount and Anthony. Boom, Mount gets injured, Anthony gets injured. So everything he's trying to do is getting ruined because he can't get the individuals that he needs. Regardless of me thinking this is going to work or not, that's not the point. I'm not saying 100% is going to work. I still have doubts. But the guy can't even catch a break. He can't get the guys that he needs already at the same time to say, all right, now let's play the style that I'm trying to do this season, and let's see if it works or not. That's why I'm being patient with him in that term only. Yes, I have doubts about his signings. I don't think he should have signed Mount. I think he should have went for a different profile. But I'm giving him a chance to prove to me, all right, you're wrong. This is why I signed him. And not me personally. Who gives a fuck about me? I'm a nobody in his world. I'm just talking about as a fan. Because there's a lot of fans that subscribe to the same thing I'm saying. So it's very harsh, in my opinion, with all these players to be out in a new season where everyone's been injured and it's only 5 games in for people to say, you know, the style play is not good. McTominay should have been here. McTominay should have been sold. And he was in the team yesterday. So if the manager wanted to sell him, how do I expect him to play with a style of play when he didn't even rate that guy? Same as I said, as Reguilon, he shouldn't have been there, but he is there. Same as Evans, he shouldn't have been there, but he is there. That's 3 players that shouldn't be in this team this season
at all
that we had to keep. You know what I'm saying? So that's the context that I wanted to add.
But Steph, I owe you an apology though, Steph, because I was in your halftime show, or it was the post. I don't know. It was either the halftime or the post-match show after the game, and I was so angry. I was so angry because going to Burnley and scraping a 1-0, and the performance was shit. But actually, when I looked at it and I sat down and I actually thought with my head about the game, the more I look about it, the more I think about it, it's actually it was all the signs were there. Ten Hag didn't go there to play ball and show his style of play. He just went there to win. He didn't care which way the win came by. And the biggest example is he put 2 runners in the midfield, right? And he just brought out Amrabat to go left back. Didn't even care how good he looked. Just put him left back.
Happy you saw it that way.
So I eventually saw it yesterday. I sat down to myself, looked at the highlights, looked at the game, looked at the context. The more I thought about it, the more this guy just wanted to get the pressure off his back. Let's get a win. Let's get back on track. And then the next game, we can start talking about Aaron back coming back, Mount coming back, Varane, getting all my pieces back together, and starting with the ideology again and the style of play. So I owe Staff an apology. I owe Ten Hag an apology because I was just in the heat of the
The
moment.
midfielders he used, as you said, Ozzy, he used runners yesterday. The worst thing, and I think, Omar, if you remember that we were doing the show with Flawless, and Flawless was like, if you can't play your style of play, at the end of the day, still a results business. You're supposed to pick up results. If you're not playing good football and you're not picking up results, that's when you start getting, that's when you get sacked. And yesterday, he was like, listen, I'm not here to play pretty football. We've conceded 10 goals in the last 3 games. What am I supposed to do today? Not concede goals. Okay, how do we not concede goals? Eriksen, you're on the bench. Even Donny van de Beek was on the bench. Donny van de Beek is a better midfielder than a couple midfielders. He's definitely better than McTominay. Did he play him? No. He was like, you know what? I just need players that are going to run today. Remember that every time they cut back, shoot, goal that they did in Brighton and Bayern. He was like, listen, I'm conceding too many goals from the same way. You know what I'm doing? Putting 2 kids that can run. I mean, McTominay's not a kid, but you put Hannibal.
He was
you put
horrible.
McTominay that just runs it. No, he was. Don't get me wrong. He was shit, especially every time we had the ball. But he just put people that just break up play, and he was just hoping for individual the moments of individual brilliance to win the game. And that's what he did. We had the goal, got disallowed because of the offside, then the Bruno moment, and that's it. There's a few moments where we were playing in, and the goal was just to get the 3 points and get out. And we'll go back on the training pitch. Hopefully now Varane is fit. Now hopefully Amrabat is fit. Lissandro got the rest because he's been playing with an injury the last 2 games. So he rested him for precautionary reasons. And he's like, you know what? The League Cup is coming. We're gonna rest this week. I'm probably gonna play my B team during the week, and then we go again in the league next week. I'll hopefully have 4 or 5 players back from injury, including Varane and Amrabat, who kind of played that little cameo yesterday. And I think that was the right approach. I don't care about bossing Burnley up the pitch. I just want the 3 points. And let's go back home.
And I think, Omar, we got to go back to the comment that was made early on in the stream. We need to have a conversation on Sir Marcus Rashford. There has to be a conversation on him. I don't know what's been happening this season, bro. Don't make that face, because
no, I agree with you. That's me.
No,
like,
I think, yeah, bro.
Oh, Omar, yeah, I thought you said
no,
me.
Omar, bro. I don't know what you feel, but Omar, I think he's been figured out now. He's a good player, but we have to be real. He's not what we thought he was last
season. Game 2, when he starts cooking big game Rashi, and he's going to start crashing the scoreboards like he did last season.
Does he have a goal this season?
He's a limited player. Let's be honest. He's a limited player.
He might do that.
Has a goal against Arsenal.
He might do that, by the way, and you're right.
He'll score for you. He'll score for you and have big moments, but he's not a player that's gonna carry you,
rely on him
and lead you. You know, he don't got that sauce about him. You feel me?
This is the problem that we have. Amar's gonna come here, and you're right, Amar. You're gonna come here and you're gonna say, "Oh no, he's gonna score goals and he's gonna do this." All 100%, he might go and score 15 goals in the Premier League season, or 20 goals in an all-round season. But the problem you have with Rashford is when you put him in the starting lineup, I expect from my best player to make the people around me better. So I expect when he goes on that left wing, he doesn't just think, oh, cut and shoot, but let me cross for Holland. How do I get the best out of my striker, my star striker? He doesn't do that. He doesn't make people around him better.
You want him to be a lot. Assist, score, clean up.
Well, if I'm paying you 300, 400 a week, and you're the star player for me, and you're supposed to be, because he's not a youngster anymore, he's supposed to be a developed player, the star for Man United, the present is now. He's no longer a youngster. I want him to perform for me now. So you're not just a goal scorer. You're not just cutting in and scoring no more. No. That time is done. I expect you to assist. I expect you to track back. I expect you to contribute to the pressing, to the ideology that's being established by Erik ten Hag, but to walk sluggish
and be a leader.
Yeah, be a leader.
He's supposed to be a lead. That's the main thing, you know.
He's been there the longest.
It's not only Rashford. There's a lot of players that are just half baked, you know, but they get a lot of hype, you know. Because
and you know what the maddest thing is, though? NYC Chelsea Blues. Sorry, I don't know your name, bro. AJ, my bad. AJ. The maddest thing is that there was news that came out today from a reliable source that said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approached Marcus Rashford about the captaincy and he refused it.
And I can see it. I can see that. You look at him and you could tell, you know, some people, and it's fine. Some people are not cut for that, you know. He maybe he doesn't want the attention. He'll lead on the field, but you know, some people are not cut for that. You're not meant for that, and that's fine. But the hype that he gets and the praise that he gets is too much for what he gives you guys. That's my thoughts.
It's a few things on Rashford. Rashford's somebody like he led last season, but he led when everything was going great for him. It's easy to lead when you're banging goals and your confidence is high. It's easy to lead. Everyone's a leader then. But to be fair to Rashford, I feel like he's still relying on his instinct, which is probably the best part of his game. And he's never developed like the full IQ. Like Mudryk right now is relying on his instinct.
Yes.
He hasn't been coached. I feel like he hasn't been
Pure
coached.
talent.
Pure talent. And it's to be fair to him, the manager circus that's been going on at United for the last few years, it hasn't helped him. He's had coaches for max 2 years, so he's never been able to nail down a full style of play in terms of the coaching. So I mean, but he's how old now? 26, 27? It's something it's gotta hit. I mean, if he has another season that he had in 21, 22, his reputation is, I think it's gonna be in the mud because people are not gonna just trust you. They're just gonna say you're a hit and miss player. Like you're confident, you'll bang. When you're not, you're not. You're no use to the team.
Yeah,
I agree.
We do expect more, but it's not just him. Do I expect more? I expect more. I expect more from Bruno. I expect
Bruno, definitely.
My center backs.
What are you guys' thoughts on Bruno? Are you guys? I mean, I see a lot of United fans. They call him world class.
Are you trying to break? You trying to get my guys to talk negative?
Yeah, let me. Ozzy, what you saying on
you
Bruno?
guys look horrible, and I see what you're trying to do.
Bruno falls in that same Rashford.
AJ, this will be coming. Divide and conquer the United fans.
This all we got.
This all we got, bro.
What's your guys' thoughts on that? Yo, Omar, let's go to that comment from earlier. Mind you, it was the first comment. Someone was out here scrolling. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, it was the first. Yeah, let's go back to. Oh, Omar, so what's your thoughts on Bruno? What's your United fans' thoughts on Bruno, bro?
But honestly, I'm no bias aside. What are you guys' thoughts on Bruno? I think he's a top player. I just want to know to what level do you think is he on? I hear KDB comparisons. Like, what do you guys think?
If I spoke to you about how I feel about Bruno, Staff, I'm gonna need with that comparison, I'm gonna need a paramedic because my high blood pressure is gonna increase. Brother, like swear to God, I've given this guy as many opportunities as you want, but they just call him like just Gostuno, because he's a ghost. He's a ghost. I've never seen him appear in a big game, honestly. He and do you know what? Like 100%, I agree. Like when he had that season for United when he first signed, and he was scoring and he was producing and the passion he had for the badge, that was peak Bruno. He's never even come close to that. So here's the problem: when you look at City and Arsenal, and I tell you who are the star players, you go Arsenal, Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, and you know that they're going to appear every game. If I need a bit of magic, they're either assisting, they're either creating a piece of magic that results in them scoring a goal. If I'm talking about City, I know Haaland's going to appear. I know De Bruyne is going to appear. I know Bernardo Silva's going to appear. When I speak United, the star players are Bruno and Rashford. Who are the two most what's the word?
Trustworthy?
Untrustworthy, underachieving players. The United squad. Unreliable.
That's what I would say.
That's what's frustrating is that Bruno holds an absolute stinker for 44 minutes. Absolute stinker. Didn't contribute with assists, didn't contribute with leadership, didn't contribute to anything in the game. Then he scores a goal, and then the fan base goes,
yeah.
So Bruno's the problem? So Bruno's the problem.
Yes.
Shut your ass up, man. Shut your ass up.
Yo, there's a lot of
How they do it again?
There's a lot of them.
It's a lot of those.
So Bruno's
those are the casual fans, bro. I'm telling you, man.
But you know what's funny?
Yesterday was a perfect example of that too.
Yo, but Jake, this is what Jake said right here is facts. You're gonna have the people who's his biggest fans, and you're gonna have the people who's not his biggest fans, and it's just gonna be constant. Like my man should be said, divide and conquer.
But why though? If you the thing is, you're right with Jake, right? It's divides the fan base. However, the people that hate him can come up with they can justify why they hate him. The people that love him, they can't justify why they love him, apart from non-footballing reasons, because he hasn't touched. He's not even fit to lace De Bruyne's boots, yet alone be compared to him since his first season for United. He isn't. They're two completely different players. Bruno doesn't appear, doesn't have creative moments for United, and has a run of games where he doesn't appear for United. And De Bruyne is very rarely when you see him not have a footprint and a City win when they win 2-3, 4-0. He appears in every big game. Arsenal away, at the Emirates. Man United away, Man United home appears. Haaland, same thing. Bruno, nothing. Absolutely not. At least for Rashford, I can say he appears for me in big games. City away, City at home. I know what I'm gonna get from Rashford. At least he's not consistent, but I know he's gonna appear in big games. Bruno is just and the worst thing, boys. Before I'm hunging the mic too much. The worst thing is, and this thing I hate the most,
all day, my brother.
Good, bro.
is that he's a captain, right? He has more shrugs and more dirty faces and more like just bad energy than goals and assists this season, than captaincy level, captain energy this season. Last season, same thing. So like, I'm just done with him, bro. Like if we could play a midfield of Mount, Amrabat, and Casemiro, I'll have that over Bruno in my midfield. At least I know what I'm getting. Honestly, bro, at least I know what I'm getting. So yeah, that's my point of view on Bruno. I don't think I could ever get past it. Unless he goes back into his old form and consistently does his thing, then I can't have him in my team anymore. I'll be honest with you.
One of the comments here.
Fair.
One of the comments here before we wrap up. Damn, I feel bad because we talked about this. Big up,
Shout out, Miles.
This is what you're gonna have to do, Miles. Once this stream ends, right? You're gonna play this video and then you're gonna run the first 30 minutes.
We did Chelsea for 30 minutes.
Yeah, we literally. I would love to answer this, but if I speak on that club one more time, I might kill myself. It's just like
sick.
Big up. It's not even. We literally spent like a good 40 minutes on dissecting.
We did.
Miles, apologize, but the takes are earlier in the episode. You know what I'm saying? But to finish off,
one thing, Omar, can we just talk about how bad the three teams that came up this season are? Sheffield.
So funny. You're so funny because I was literally thinking about that.
Terrible.
It's so funny that you said that because I'm watching the game. I said, for the first time ever, every championship team that pulled up was absolutely
trash.
They're all butt cheeks. Like, and it's stinking ones too. It's not like it's a good looking one that's that came off the
all Derby County 07 all three of them.
Bro, it's them.
The league is hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The league is not easy. There's a lot of even the mid teams. 5 years ago, like,
big up Bash Dollars. I'm gonna call you Bash.
They're
Dollars.
decent now, bro. They buying $50-60 million players.
By the way, championship isn't about quality. Championship is about consistency. That's what
exactly.
Yeah.
But you got to understand the teams that came up. Like I thought Burnley would probably do a better run than most teams. But if we look at Brentford when they came up, bro, they've been so solid ever since they came up, and that's a project. Like Fulham has been amazing. You get what I'm saying? So those are the teams that I use as an example if you coming up. So I'm thinking Burnley's going to go that same model.
What, to be fair to those teams, I don't think, like how you said, Fulham, when they came up, they signed Prem players. I don't think any of these teams that came up signed one
Burnley were not ready for that. And never did I really witness them spend. But Sheffield and Luton ain't spend. Let's be honest. The Luton situation was, I don't even think they deserve to be in there. But it's... You don't know what's gonna come from them, but I was literally thinking the same. I said, this is the first time ever every championship team look absolutely horrible. I think they're all bottom of the league too, if I'm not mistaken. So
could be, yeah.
That's our only win against Luton.
Bro.
That's depressing, bro.
That's
Miles, go back. Miles.
One. We have one win, bro.
Miles, go back to the first 15.
Back,
we're gonna talk about your great win against Luton Town. We're gonna break it down for you. But boys, it's been an hour 30, so I gotta big that up. And wait, before we leave, y'all talk Brighton top 3, 1 loss all season.
Good point. We mentioned them sparsely, their coaches.
We did.
Listen, we couldn't cover them, but because we had a lot of big teams to mention. But maybe Omar will get on. We'll get on. What's his name? What's the Brighton fan's name again? That showed up on your channel.
Dagan. I gotta bring him on.
Brighton played better football than both teams on this panel.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You got a Brighton fan here? That's crazy.
Yeah, we did.
I got 2 of my boys. One of them actually got a Brighton tattoo on his butt. That's the funny thing. That's he flexed it live.
He flexed it on stream. So when finishing. He literally pulled down his underwear and showed us his butt cheek.
It's a little above the meaty part. It's a little above the meaty part. But
he might be the only Brighton fan in history that's actually tattooed his own team on his butt.
Bro, they go in. They go big up my boy Andy. Big up.
Big up, man. Big up.
Yeah, he's really passionate. But I was thinking of bringing him on today, but it was just too late for me to reach out. But they've been really smoking shit other than Europa League. That's not for them yet. So. It's one of those, but they definitely been De Zerbi, the whole project. To big them up one last time is De Zerbi, the whole project. Everything they do, they is ready.
Proper.
They know what's next. This is gonna go. He's gonna fill in, get him go. You know what I'm saying? It's that. And then Jake asked Omar predictions from the panel for next hit players to move to Saudi. Raheem Sterling, the whole Chelsea 11, the whole Chelsea
Bruno.
11.
We're gonna sell them all to Saudi, bro, and restart.
Yeah, next time.
Salah easy. Some of the Newcastle players as
Salah.
well, because obviously the link.
Casemiro, I think he's probably gonna go get a
Oh,
chance.
Staff would love that. Staff would love Casemiro to go to Saudi so we can get 50
Bro,
million.
the tweets
Bruno
yesterday
Fernandes.
coming out. I saw tweets coming out yesterday. People tagging me in tweets. People saying Casemiro should go to Saudi Arabia, and I was like, when I said that in the summer, you called me a stupid yank.
Thiago,
Now
should-
you guys are saying it.
I got
Thiago
told-
should have went to Saudi, bro.
Low
Remember
key.
he was linked heavy.
He was.
He was like, nah, I'm honoring my contract.
Can Brighton reach next season?
They
Well,
can't.
Yeah.
They can't.
it's
Top
5
five.
spots. It's 5 spots. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? It's 5 spots. What if you think about it? What City, Arsenal, Liverpool, 3, right?
Bro, they
United-
And
They don't
Spurs.
even have to. They don't even have to do it through the table.
then
They
you
can
got-
win Europa League and get
Yeah.
to Champions League.
and qualify, yeah. And then you're talking about the 4th and 5th spot between United, Spurs,
Chelsea.
Newcastle, and
If we
United.
get 7th, I'll be
You are
surprised.
sneaky. You are sneaky boy. You are sneaky boy. Yeah.
Let's
Yo,
try
s-
that,
yo,
let's try.
Age, I don't know about you, but I still low key have faith, bro.
The
players-
highest
Give it up,
I
my
see
brother.
us, bro,
Give
at
it
this
up,
point
my
is
brother.
7th.
Give it
7th,
up.
Yeah, you
maybe,
know what? And
bro.
I have faith of getting Mila Kunis in my bed. You know,
Maybe 7th, bro. Maybe.
We'll see. We move.
We move. But yo, boys, appreciate you out for tuning in. Yo, Jake, thank you for everybody that, especially my boys Jakes and everyone that's in here.
Oh,
Jake, yeah,
Shout
for
out the
staying
whole chat.
consistent with us for the whole hour and a half. We've been on here for 90 minutes. This is a whole game. Unless I did my math wrong. I think it's 90
Nah, you.
Yeah, right? It is 90 minutes. Yeah.
You just-
So we've been here for 90 minutes, you know what I'm saying? So I got better lungs than Erickson, I'm gonna tell you that. So, tell you
that's
that.
funny.
But yo, big up to everybody. Shout out gang. Let you know, of course, y'all know where to find everyone. Staffy TV. You take the realm on that. You know what I'm saying? Everyone here is on Staffy. Everyone here knows Aussie. And then, of course, you got your boy TikTok. Look at AJ. AJ, tell them what
Make
to
sure you
find.
follow that.
Yes, sir. Add me on TikTok, man. I'm fairly new to it, but add me. I got a little something on there.
Aussie, catch him on the CAF Champions League. You know what I'm saying? The CAF.
Who's famous in
I'm,
the Champions League this
I'm
season?
undercover now, but if you,
Mid.
I'm not really about it, but you'll see me. You find me a lot on Staffy's channel,
Facts.
and yeah, hopefully I can make a bit more appearances with Omar, of course.
Nah, bro, my channel is your channel. Just like also Shippy. I gotta big up my boy Shippy. My boy Shippy was one of the founding fathers of Footy Fanatics right here. So big up my boy. Been in the struggles with me. He got us on mute. He not paying attention. He got us.
Yo, I hear you, bro.
I'm taking the flowers, bro. Come on.
Shout out, Omar. Keep doing your thing with the channel, bro. It's growing, bro.
Nah, big up the boys going because of y'all. So yo, we out of here, man. Y'all stay safe. You heard?
Smash that
Up the
like.
Chels.
Smash the likes, you heard? Yo, Miles, make sure you
Follow the channel. Follow the channel.
Follow the
Miles, tune back in. Yeah.